Hey folks, so now that Ghost is over, I wanted to talk about why it's so great. Chris is the original creator of paper computer games, and Ghost is his first game in many years. It's like that time the creator of Resident Evil came back to do Resident Evil 4, at once going back to the roots of the franchise, the parts that made it so great in the first place, while taking it in a totally new and innovative direction. Chris does the same thing with Ghosts. Ghosts is a ghost story, but I truly feel like it's the best ghost story I've ever seen in any medium. Movies, books, video games, comics, campfire stories. Ghosts is the best one to me. The premise is a basic one for a ghost story. You play as the late Baron Mortimer von Fogwhistle III, who's got unfinished business, so he's still haunting his old mansion. He can only leave the house on Halloween, and one fine Halloween he comes home after a haunting to find that a family of the living has moved into his mansion. He has to get them out before 30 days is up, or else he loses ownership of the house and he'll be forced out of this realm of existence. And when you start playing, it feels simple like that. You pretty much just explore the house, talk to other ghostly beings, and you try to scare the family, the Parkers, every night. Your character, Fogwhistle, is unlike other PCG heroes, and not just because he's a ghost. In life, he was a shady businessman who didn't care about anyone but himself, and even murdered his competitors. That's pretty dark, but it's handled with humor. Your former murder victims are now fellow ghosts who are scheming their revenge, and their taunts get you to act in character as the bitter old ghost who taunts right back. Even though you as the player know Fogwhistle's completely in the wrong and is a terrible person, you kind of root for him anyway. The game takes the traditional gameplay of a paper computer game and turns it on its head. You still play by telling the PCG master what you're going to do, and he tells you what happens.
I will go back out to the other side of the door.
So the path that she carved seems to be closed off to you.
But the game rethinks what you can do with that. In other PCGs, the game is usually a series of puzzles, obstacles you have to get past to get to the next screen. But Ghosts is more of a world to explore. From the beginning of the game, you can go to almost any screen in the game and there's nothing in your way. It's more about unraveling the larger puzzle, that is, the whole game. A big part of what makes it so fun is that you're playing as a ghost. That changes everything. You can go through walls or floors, you can't be seen or heard by humans, and you can do almost anything you want. So you can play pranks like leaving creepy notes for the humans to find, or leaving a bowling ball in their bed, or making creepy noises. It lets you be really creative. Instead of trying to figure out what the solution to a puzzle is, you're creating that solution. And to some extent, you're creating the puzzle as well, because your actions can lead to unintended consequences which box you in, and then you have to think of a way to get out of it. Even when there is a traditional puzzle, it's handled in a new way. Instead of thinking of how you're supposed to beat the puzzle beforehand, Chris just basically puts a problem there and just gives you a bunch of tools to solve them.
Let me just knock on the door with the broom. I don't even need the knocker.
That's fair. You tap on the door. You're not strong enough to really make a super loud sound, but you make a soft tapping.
He doesn't worry about what the correct solution is. He just lets you try things, and he improvises to tell you if they work. And that theme of improvisation is a big part of what makes the game as a whole work. It lets the player's actions truly influence the story, and take it in directions that Chris never intended. But there's so much more to Ghosts than that simple premise. In this game, the closer you look at things, whether it's specific things like a new rug the family put on the floor, or even the world as a whole, the weirder they get. The more questions you ask about this world, the less the world makes sense. The rug has a strange pattern on it that's mesmerizing, even for a ghost. The family has their own secrets, like the father who sneaks out every night with a silver key, and the daughter who's friends with a mysterious green bubble, which isn't a ghost, and we really don't know what it is. There's mysteries like that throughout the game, hinting at a larger world. Ghosts live with the ghost rules, kind of like laws of physics but for ghosts. At first these seem straightforward. Ghosts are bound to the world because of unfinished business, they can't leave the house they're bound to, and so on. Normal ghost stuff. But then, the rules lead to weird things, like there being two different ghosts who were the same person when they were alive. Or ghosts who don't remember ever being alive. Or ghosts who can congeal together into one larger ghost. The game invites you to look closer at the ghost rules and to ask all the questions about ghosts that other ghost fiction has taught us not to ask. It invites you to wonder about how ghosts actually work and to experiment with their rules, to ask questions and to investigate. In that way, it takes the concept of ghosts, a concept we've all grown up with, and makes it one of the freshest and most interesting concepts around. This game lays the groundwork for a whole ghostly mythology, and I feel it could be the basis for a whole universe built around it. There could be more games exploring this world further. The X-Men stories, for example, are built around one central concept, that there are mutants with superpowers who are hated and feared by society. But the comics have many different mutants dealing with that same reality in totally different ways. In the same way, there could be more ghost PCGs, where different ghosts have to deal with the same ghost rules in very different ways. Chris has said he may return to the world of ghosts someday in a future PCG, but for now he's working on other projects. In the meantime, another new PCG maker, Paula, has said she's working on a prequel to Ghosts about one of the characters from the game. So hopefully this world will grow. I'd like to talk more about all the unanswered questions from Ghosts that I'm dying to see explored further, but this video is getting a bit long, so I'll leave that to a future video. For now, I'll just say that we need to be exploring new kinds of things you can do with a paper computer game, and Ghosts does that brilliantly. It's a fantastic game, the best PCG I've played in a long while. If you want to see more of Ghosts, there's a series of Let's Play videos on this channel. Unfortunately, I didn't think to start making videos until we were already in the middle of the game. So you're starting in the middle of a story. Also, in the first video the sound quality is bad and there are other technical hiccups. I should also mention that when we started, we were just filming the games mostly for us. We didn't know if we'd ever have an audience, so we weren't watching our language. So the video does have some cursing in there, so just be aware of that, but if you can get past all that stuff, the game's story is so cool, it's well worth checking out. So, yeah, that's all for now, folks. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.